You're welcome to our today's piano music class with your host, instructor Matthew Agba. Today's class happens to be a very interesting one as we'll be looking at the introduction to piano music, the staff notation as the subject of today. Looking at our slide, we'll be looking at identification of the staff notation and its properties. We are going to look at what staff notation is, and we want to look at its properties, what really makes up the staff notation. So we enter into the next slide. In the next slide, we will be looking at what a staff notation is. A staff notation is a method used to document or write down musical sounds. So musical sounds could be written down with the use of the staff notation. And what really aids in the staff notation writing is what we call the staff. So the staff simply refers to as the 5 horizontal lines and 4 horizontal spaces. You can see here the drawing of the staff. We have line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5. We have space 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how the staff looks like. We enter into the next slide. The staff we just finished talking about in our last slide doesn't have meaning without the use of the clef. So the clef is the next subject of discourse. The types of staff and clef. The staff does not have meaning without a clef symbol attached to it. The clef is a Latin word which means key. It gives meaning to the staff by indicating the range in pitches of musical sounds. So the clef gives the range in pitches of musical sounds in music. So we have 3 types of clef. We have the G clef, which is otherwise known as the treble clef. We have the F clef, which is otherwise known as the bass clef. We have the C clef, otherwise known as the alto tenor clef. But for the purpose of our piano music class, we won't be talking much more about the C clef or the alto tenor clef. So we're making use of the G clef and the F clef. Moving to the next slide, we look at the G clef and staff. Take note, the G clef is otherwise known as the treble clef. So we can be using it interchangeably. So we can interchange them anytime in the course of our discourse. The G clef is otherwise known as a treble clef. When the G clef is fixed into the staff, it is called the treble staff. This is a typical drawing of the treble clef. And when it is placed on the staff, it is called the treble staff or the G staff. Notice that the middle coil of the G clef fixed on the note G. So if you want to draw the treble clef, it starts on the second line. You draw it, move up and then down like an umbrella handle. So the middle coil fixed on the note G, which is the second line counting upward. So we look at the lines and the space. The names of the notes on the lines and space, the letter names. We have E, we have G, we have B, we have D, we have F, same here, F, A, C, E. So we'll talk about that in our next slide. So memorizing the treble staff, we have this memory aid. We have every good boy deserves favor, which is E, G, B, D, F. While on the space, that was on the line. But on the space, we have F, A, C, E, which is our face, as in face. The treble staff is usually used for the right side of the piano. So the right hand makes use of the treble staff in the course of performing on the piano. So we move to the next discourse, F clef and staff. Take note, the F clef is otherwise known as the bass clef. And when the F clef or the bass clef is fixed on the staff, it is otherwise called the bass staff or the F staff. Usually the bass clef usually have 2 dots enclosing the 4th line. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You start from the 4th line and start drawing your bass clef. When the bass clef is fixed to the staff, it is called the bass staff. The 2 dots encloses the 4th line counting upwards. The sign is an inversion of the shape of the letter F. Yeah. So the two dots must and do enclose the fourth line. So we look at the memory aid for the base staff, which is for the line, good boy deserves favor always. Good boy deserves favor always. Then for the space is all cows eat grass, A, C, E, G. Usually on the piano, the bass staff uses the left hand. So we use the left hand to perform the bass staff reading of the notes. Next discuss, we look at the great staff. The great staff simply refers to the combination of the two staff. Could either be treble and the treble, bass and the bass, treble and the bass staff. So conventionally, we use the bass and the treble staff. That is bass on the left hand, treble using the right hand. It has a line or a symbol that joins both of them together. It is known as the breast. The breast sign joins the two staffs together to make it a great or grand staff. We move into our last discourse for today, which is the great staff, memorizing the great staff, the names of the notes written on the line and space of the great staff. Usually the great staff are bounded together by the breast sign and has the middle C as a major indicator dividing the treble and the bass staff together. So we will have the middle C, which is the line that joins the treble and the bass staff, the middle line that divides between the treble and the bass staff. So we start counting alphabetically: G on the line, A on the space, B on the line, C on the space, D on the line, E on the space, F on the line, G on the space, A on the line, B is here on the space. So we can make it up to have a C here. Same, we start with that same middle C we were here last. We start counting from the middle C, C, D on the space, E on the line, F space, G line, A space, B line, C space, D line, E space, F line, and so forth. So alphabetically, we could arrange our treble and bass staff in this order. So we'll move light space, line space, line space. So in the course of performing on the piano, or maybe singing, or maybe performing on any other instrument, you count with your line and space. So alphabetically, that is how they are written. For our last discourse, we will look at the ledger lines. The ledger lines are short horizontal lines which are drawn below and above the staff to accommodate notes of lower and higher pitch in a particular piece of music. You could see like the middle C was somewhere here is actually a ledger line. Then that short line is what we call the ledger lines. It can be above, it can be below the treble or the bass step. The same counting is applicable. So if we have C here on the ledger line, come down, we should be able to have a B here. So we have B space before the ledger line C and C ledger line before the space D. Same here, we have F as the last line of the treble staff. We have space G, A line, space C, B, and upper ledger lines C. I will do a recap of what we have taught today in today's class. We started by looking at the staff notation as one of the ways in which we document music. So the staff notation makes use of the staff as its aid. So we have the staff being simply refers to as 5 horizontal lines and 4 horizontal spaces. We look at the types of this clef. We have the G clef, F clef, and the C clef. Mind you, the staff has no meaning without the clef. So for the purpose of our piano music, we're talking about the G and F, and we excluded the C clef. So we look at the G clef and staff, looking at how it is being drawn, where it is placed on the staff. We look at the names on the lines and the space of the treble staff, which is every good boy deserves favor for the lines, and our face, FACE, for the space. We go in to look at the bass staff, how it is being drawn, the 2 dots, and closing the 4th line. We look at the names of the note on the line and space as good boy deserves favor always, all cows eat grass. We move further to look at the great staff, the combination of the 2 staff, either treble, treble, bass, bass, treble, and bass. Conventionally, as a pianist, as a piano student, you will be exposed to the treble and the bass staff. So we look at how it is being written, the notes on the lines and space of the great staff, having these two important symbols, the press sign and the middle C, which divide treble and the bass staff into two. So we look at their names of the notes written alphabetically in that order, same way that of the treble staff. We further went to look at the short lines written above or below the staff to accommodate notes of higher or low pitches. I'm sure today's class was quite interesting, and I'm very, very sure that you had learned one or two things. If you have questions, feel free to ask so that you'll be able to get to understand what we have taught today. I will be glad to host you in our next class. So stay tuned always, and you will be glad that you had this opportunity to learn the piano music with your host, Instructor Matthew Agba, here from the Art Sphere Incorporated. Thank you and have a wonderful day ahead. I remain yours, Instructor Matthew Agba. Bye for now.